Welcome to the Agile Talks, a third episode this year. I'm so excited to go onto the YouTube too. I'm thanking my community for input, who they want to talk to. I'll give you a little story. 3 years ago, I met the two very interesting guys from the Holland. I was working for Humanity in that time. And we had a really interesting talks because I was working in China and I needed solution for visualization. And I met my two guests today, Bert and Dolf, who are running the most exciting project this year in Europe on a visualization called Obeya Association. Obeya coming from Japan. I was actually there in Toyota, and first time before I met them, I saw it and I didn't know what it's all about. So today, I introduce you Dolf and my favorite person from Simpson, Bert, who will tell us more about Obeya. Please introduce yourselves.
All right, I guess I'm always the person to start, and then Bart fills in the gaps that I left. My name is Dolf Reijnders, 41 years, I'm Dutch. If you look, I don't know, this is going to be on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. If you look at my eyes, you see maybe they're a bit puffy because I had a baby 2 months ago. So that's, I know that's what's going on. And I am one of the founders of the Obeya Association. And that's what's keeping me busy, setting up content and community, everything involving Obeya. And in my free time, I like to run. I like to spend time in nature. I have an apple orchard. I grow apples from very specific varieties, and we make cider. And that's what I do.
My favorite drink.
I'm everyone's favorite drink.
Some people just don't know it yet. Yes, it's apple champagne.
Exactly, champagne. I call it sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Dolf, Bert, tell us something about yourselves, please.
Yes, my name is Bart. I'm 40 years old. I turned 41 within 2 weeks. So young, slightly younger than my friend Dolf here. I live right in the middle of the Netherlands in a town called Utrecht. I've got twins. They are 9 years old. It's a boy and a girl, Luc and Tara, and I live happily with my wife and my family. We both started the Obeya Association, I guess, 3 years ago. We will tell you all about this venture during the coming hour. But personally, I started out more on the technical side, as in the software development, and later fell in love with lean management, with continuous improvement and the ancient wisdom that lies underneath lean, but also Obeya, coming from the Eastern culture. And we met a couple of years ago. We found out our personalities are somewhat yin-yang. So where Dolf is the first one to speak and can get the stage and has big visions, big dreams. If there are big dreams I believe in, then I'm the one who is the more practical, organized person doing the technical stuff to get the idea come to life. And the past 3 years were amazing because all of our dreams are seeming to come true.
That's great.
We became friends.
Yeah, very, very good. Sometimes, when you have a relationship like this, this works fantastically, and this is the right way to go. And from my side of it, you can feel that way when we talk about it. It's a phenomenal way of doing it. So when we talk about Obeya, from those guys who don't know what else is Obeya, because some people who will watch this don't have a clue what is Obeya. What will be the simplest way of saying it, and how you will explain Obeya?
Yeah. Well, Obeya, it's a strange word, but it's literally a translation. It literally translates to large room from Japanese. So it's a Japanese word, Obeya. And it's can be explained as a physical or a digital space, a room where strategy meets execution. So it's a room where you visualize your work, your strategy, your plans, your problems, your performance.
Literally visualize your work on the wall.
Yeah,
that's what it is, and create one single source of truth. That's probably important to note as well.
Yeah.
One single source of truth where multiple people can benefit from the same information at the same time.
Yeah,
that's what it does. Yeah, what it does is you invite multiple people in this room, so you have multiple perspectives on the same information, and this benefits into more decision making that's more inclusive and more sustainable than if you would do it on your own by yourself.
Yeah. So I remember when we were talking about that the first time, and I was actually in a development team in Toyota. I just came back, and it was amazing why that room was more than just 4 or 5 walls. Happened to be 5 when I was there. That you had the right people in the right place too. So no interpretation. I like what Dolf said, one very agile sentence, which is a source of truth. Because when you're in a room, there is no space for interpretation. You are there. So there is no multi-channel conversation going about the same subjects. And actually you can see everything on the wall. That's a very good metaphor. And that brings me nicely to the second point. Why associations? What was your motive behind establishing kind of associations on a global level, I believe now?
It's a global movement, actually. Well, I think first of all, what's important to say is that we didn't invent Obeya. It has been there a long time before we picked up on it and started learning about this beautiful method. So we stand on the shoulders of giants of centuries ago, literally. We merely recognized that if you look at the challenges organizations face in these times, Obeya is a very charming method to face these challenges. So that's I think very important to know. The only thing that we did is build a community around it. Our first slogan we ever thought of regarding the Obeya Association was "From Tool to Philosophy," because essentially it was sort of hidden, tucked away in the toolkit of Lean black belts, and people they sort of knew the name, but it was hidden somewhere. And we recognized that it had a lot of potential to become a philosophy on its own, because it combines a couple of elements that these times need. It combines a mindset, very similar to the Agile mindset, alignment in your operation and your goal setting, a workspace, and information and data. And all of that combined and in the rhythm involving the right people at the right time means that there's a collective learning process going on. And if you ask us, what do these times today ask from us? That everybody needs to engage in a collective learning process. We think that in the end, the organizations that will thrive in the future are the ones that are able to set up collective learning experience for all their employees all throughout the organization. And so we recognize this. So from the moment that we realized this, we said, okay, but then we need to do something. We need to make this available to the wider audience, to the public.
Now, literally, if we Googled on the internet Obeya, we only found some consulting firms having a blog about it, but there was not a home for practitioners.
New Obeya pays money. That was sort of the information that was there.
Yeah.
So we wanted to build a home for Obeya. So we brought all the information we could find to one point, literally, so people could actually go there and learn about Obeya. So it became something. And then the other thing is, we believe in the power of communities. We believe that if there's real truth in this, more people will pick it up. And if you build a community around something that has real value, then the community will keep enriching the value and enriching the value. And that's exactly what's happening today. By building a community around something, this philosophy that Obeya is, people start using it and they develop their own best practices. They communicate it back to us. We turn it into study materials, content, training modules, or whatever, and release it back into the community. And in doing so, we constantly lower the thresholds to use Obeya and this beautiful method. And basically that's what we've been doing ever since. We started out as a hobby. Yeah, literally. We worked from a camper van. It was our mobile office. So we had the best office in the world. We put our camper van in the middle of nature. So we had lakeside views, and that's where it all started. And of course, we needed to sustain a living as well. But in the evenings and in the weekends, we kept building the Obeya Association community and the content. And from passion, I guess.
And it's really cool because we found out that practitioners were literally all over the world. India, New Zealand, Australia. We now have 1,000 members that are on the website. You can become a member. We get now 1,000 members, and we organized a yearly summit. We call it the Worldwide Obeya Summit, and that's been visited by people from all over the world. More than 41 nationalities last time.
Yeah, hundreds of people from 41 countries, which we are blown away. We really in our hearts we believe that this is a great method to apply, and it's so cool to see that more and more people are joining us.
You nicely said it that's your Obeya home and our Obeya home. But what is the plan? How you will refurbish our home? What is exciting coming? Can you give us some news about what's going on to happen in the community?
Yeah, absolutely. We now have the opportunity, because it's growing bigger and bigger, we can actually build an organization around it. So we have a little bit more manpower. So now finally we can do the real things that we hope for. And one of the things I'm very proud of is that we are now educating. We're putting quality standards in the market. So not everybody can just say, "Hey, I did a Scrum course online yesterday. Let's build an Obeya," because it's not that easy. You need a bit more experience. But the standards in the market were not there. So for us it was really important to provide professional growth in the field of Obeya,
both through certification. Content, quality
content. That's it basically, and by describing the rules that make an Obeya work. So putting a lot of these standards in the market, that was a big thing for us. So people could take it seriously, professionally as a career path. And the other thing is that we are now setting up a network of Obeya coaches, and these are small, we call them cells, that's hubs, of 7, 8, 9 people that actually iterate, that they join forces, they come together.
You Obeya evangelists.
And while evangelists, people that exchange best practices, and we can communicate them, but they're self-organizing. And in this way, the community becomes very practical, because these people, they're not from the same company or the same consultancy or the same whatever. They're people coming from all different places using Obeya, and they exchange best practices. And we join actually from the Obeya Association as guests, and we extract these best practices and spread them out throughout the community. So really, we're setting up this community now that is that is just accelerating knowledge development in the field of Obeya. That's something that we're incredibly proud of.
Yeah, so community building, quality standards, but also what's also very cool to mention is the Japan study trip.
Yeah.
So this June,
I was waiting for that one. That's exciting for me.
exactly.
Tell us more about it. Trip.
Yeah, so what we feel that if we really want to know about Obeya, we must visit the roots and where it comes from. And the roots of Obeya, they lie in Japan. Obeya became familiar by Toyota, but actually the history of Obeya is long before that. So together with a group of 12 people maximum, we go to Japan for an 8-day study tour, visit the factories of Toyota and some other places, and really find out about the source of Obeya and get the teachings of the Obeya senseis coming from Toyota Management Institute and so forth.
Yeah, that's a great trip. Yeah. So I recommend it. If anybody can sneak behind those 12, that will be great. If not, I wish you all the best. I think you will entirely enjoy it. So you mentioned one more thing which is very interesting to me. You know, agility, especially now business agility, accelerated in the last 3 to 4 years. Yeah, it was very slow in the past and then accelerated drastically. Yeah, can you share some experience about how Obeya fit into the agile transformations and how your experience on this can benefit to our community here, especially people from agile community. You know that for a long time, one of the shared knowledge understanding is how different tools, methodologies, even a framework can help accelerate agilities in the companies. How that works in Holland and what we can learn from you.
Yeah, well, I think if you look at Holland or the Netherlands,
No more Holland, it's Netherlands now.
yeah, we actually don't care. We use the both. The Dutchies, the Dutch races. But I think if you look at some of our cultural traits, then by essence, throughout history, we've been a trading nation. So we've been a very open up economy. Not a lot of industry. So trade and a service economy. And if you look at organizational culture, there's not a lot of hierarchy, very open. People tend to be very direct with each other. So the Dutch are known for being very, very direct. Sometimes people from other countries find it offensive even. Sorry guys, we don't...
Not on the Balkans. I love you for it. We are the same.
Yeah, so the whole agile movement really picked up in the Netherlands. It's really common ground now. I don't think there's any organization not doing nothing in terms of the agile philosophy. So and we've been doing for quite some years now. And what you see is that in the Netherlands, agility, agile organizations reached a maturity level. And the maturity level actually really goes beyond self-sustaining teams and self-governing teams. But what comes after that? Usually we say agile transformation is a success when these teams are self-governing, they can produce ship products fast and the customers like it, then they can manage them, they can manage their own backlog. But if all the teams start doing this, automatically you end up with coordination issues. Yeah. So very mature agile organizations automatically end up with coordination and scaling issues. And I think the reason why Obeya in the Netherlands got so very popular is that it's quite a charming solution for coordination and scaling agile and lean methodologies. And I think that's one of the reasons. And I think another reason, but that's worldwide. That's not just for the Dutch community. Is I think everybody needs to pivot these days. Every organization is in some sort of change. In general, the speed of change is incredible. The amount of information that we get stowed upon us is incredible, and all organizations face issues regarding climate change, resources, scarcity, digitalization, changing revenue models. Every organization in some way or the other needs to change, but how do you change into the unknown? That's also why Agile itself became so popular. And everybody wants to change, but how do you pivot as a collective? And that's very hard to do, even for large Agile organizations. And I think the Obeya, judging from that, coming from that single source of truth, gives organizations literally a place and a crowd, a collective, to start moving, to start shifting. So basically what an Obeya does is it creates consciousness in an organization. It creates awareness, where are we, and comprehension, what does our situation look like? And at the same time, it creates a capability to deal with that, a commitment on a certain direction, and the ability to take action. And these two things combined, the latter, it's for the whole world, but the first is cultural traits of the Netherlands, makes Obeya in the Netherlands at least a very popular and very effective tool, philosophy, methodology to use.
I think it's important to add that it's not a new thing to replace Agile or Lean. Sometimes people ask us, so what is the difference? What method should I use? Should I use Obeya? Should I use Agile? It's actually a meta tool that can combine the different, the way you work within your organization. We also see organizations that don't use Agile or Lean at all, but still benefit from the use of an Obeya, because it's just common sense. Visualize what you're doing and work on the wall. It's been done for ages. How do you think Napoleon governed his armies?
Yeah.
Also by visualizing his strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I am a living proof of it. When I was doing this a huge transformation project in China, I have a benefit of it, and we talked about it before, three of us in the privacy of our Zoom room. But maybe it's time to share it with the community that we, Obeya, give you some sense of belongingness, where you belong, where all the people can come up undistracted from outside rooms or life, gather together, get focused on what we need to do, divide a brainstorming session where we are, what is the next steps, and get actionable items on the wall, visualizing what we need to do. And it's kind of therapeutic for me. Was in China. My wall was 8 meters long. I think in that year, I don't know, did anybody had elements of Obeya. In that time, I didn't know that much, but there was a Kanban board with elements of Obeya, because that's how practitioner starts. Yeah, but was 8 meters, and you could not walk in that room not to be impressed with what we did, what we're going to do, and what actionable points we have. No other room would give you that sense of belongingness to the same project.
Yeah.
And the second part was always, for me, impressive, that when I leave that room, most of the people, not all the people, because you cannot generalize it, but I had a sense of ownership of actionable items. When you go to ordinary meeting, even a high strategic meeting with a facilitator, you come up with the questions. But when I was walking out of the bare room, for me was everything clear. I knew what my next peer will do, my boss, my client. I had a clear vision of what to do. And I think that you are both right. This is not something new. but it's necessity to summarize what we need to do into the same level. I wish in that time I had opportunity to have one of your great tools called Agile Walls, because I think it would look much better. Otherwise, was a lot of scrambling on a piece of paper. And that brings me nicely to the Agile Walls. Can I have a few words about Agile Walls, what you created? That is great product and great tool for me.
Yeah, it's maybe for the people that don't know us. Bart and I, we were in a point in our lives where we thought, okay, we're going to change our careers. We're just starting things where our passion lies. So one of the things was the Obeya Association, and the other things, basically because we were annoyed that such a place didn't exist.
Well, thanks for sharing that experience you had in China. And we spoke to a Belgian person, Tim Wolput. He lives in Japan for 20 years or more. And he told us similar experiences that in Japan, they view the Obeya as the dojo. So the place where you practice your skills and your art, like in judo or in karate, you have the dojo where you practice, and this is how they view the Obeya. It is the room where you learn the art of management. So it's a collective learning experience, and it's so I recognize really what you are saying, and so in Japan it's pretty common sense. They cannot imagine how you run a business or an organization without having an Obeya to learn in, and how to run your company.
That actually reminds me that there's another reason why I think Obeya is becoming increasingly popular. I think as a species, our economy is getting more and more automated and more service and software oriented. So in the past, you could actually go to the factory and you could actually see the product being built up, and you could see actually the value being built up. You could see the product, the process just right in front of you. But today, the process actually going from computer to computer is completely invisible. So if we want to know how we are doing, how value is created, where to improve, who's doing what, how we are synchronized, the first thing that we need to do is visualize it and make it available to a broader audience. And I think the more and more our actually value creating process becomes invisible, the more need there is to visualize how the work is being organized, so we can all pitch in and understand where we're at. That's and start practicing from there.
Yeah. I mean, you got the point there, and maybe bring me nicely to the tools. Can you tell me about a few tools you created in the process to visualize what we do?
Yeah, so when we discovered Obeya a couple of years ago, we missed a couple of things. And the first thing we already talked about, we missed a community, a home where we could develop knowledge and share experiences. So this has become the Obeya Association. And the other thing we really missed, if we built Obeya, so we looked on our colleagues building Obeya, they used brown paper and the sticky notes a lot, but it looked like a mess. Like the sticky notes, they don't stick for too long, but it got a permanent status in all these beautiful buildings, and they just kept falling off.
Yeah, we're so sorry, by the way. We know there's a whole community of brown paper lovers out there. We don't believe in it. It looks crappy. It's messy. It falls off the wall. We don't like it. If people need to take your work serious, you need to make it look good. That's what we believe.
And we moved on from the paper now. We moved on. So
what we did is Agile walls. It's literally what it says. It's mini whiteboards. You can click on the wall with magnets. So it's modular. And on these whiteboards, we printed elements you could use in your Obeya, visual management. So if you think about a strategy wall, for example, elements that you would use in your Obeya would be your purpose, your mission, your objectives, maybe your key results. So these are all elements you can click on the wall with magnets. You're not tied to a template because it's modular, but you already have a head start in creating a professional Obeya that really looks good. So this is a product what we developed, and
we were so annoyed that you cannot change brown paper. The only thing you can do is take it off as a whole and build it all the way back up again. So if you build up a wall modular where you can just interchange the elements like a jigsaw puzzle, a wall can actually evolve as your team evolves, as your organization matures. The wall can keep evolving with you. Yeah, so it makes a lot more sense. And it actually looks good. So if you're coming in to bring structure, you need to make it look structured, not make it more messy. So the modular elements treat the wall like a jigsaw puzzle and make it look tight at the same time. That's
and the walls itself, they are mobile as well, so you can even drive them around throughout your company.
Yeah,
so,
I think executives would love this model. Will look good when they come to their rooms as well, especially the teams who has a big project. And you have a digital version, I believe.
Yes, of course.
They actually work on all the digital tools out there. I work on iObeya, but also on Miro, Mural, on MS Whiteboard.
So you can make a digital replica, and this development got speed up because of the Corona situation.
Yeah,
we need to have a digital variant as well, and that works awesome.
Great. I will put on the description the website so the people, if are interested, they can go with it. So I entirely enjoy it. I can talk with you for 5 days and don't stop it.
Well, you still need to know.
It was great to meet you. Maybe from three of us last 3 thoughts about Obeya and how they can benefit our communities.
Oh, one really weird, awkward question. You need to have one really weird, awkward question now.
Okay. Let's turn it around. Ask me a weird question. Whatever weird means to you.
Well, you've got such a perfectly groomed mustache. Is it out of vanity, or is it because you are insecure?
No, this is out of, we have a saying here in my country. There is 2 types of beard. One of knowledge and one of show off. My beard is a knowledge. What about your beard, Father?
Very generous, yeah.
So, give your final thoughts. I want to leave you with a powerful message to my community who is growing and love them very much. And we are looking forward to host you in this region very, very soon. As soon the weather gets better. We have a direct flights from Netherlands, so you're never far away, an hour and a half. So I'm looking forward to host you here. But final thoughts, please. What would like to say?
One final thought is, I think it already became clear throughout our conversation, but the reason behind this all, why we do this, is because we want to create conscious organizations. So our purpose, the purpose of the whole Obeya movement, is to create conscious organizations capable to build a better world for future generations. And we really believe in this.
Yeah. This is our way to change the world. Future generations for us means we take a long-term perspective. Now, funny detail is if we write our version management, for example, we don't write 2023, but we put a 0 before the 2023, just to remind us that we are not 2023 years old. We are millions of years old, and there's millions of years to come, and the best is yet to come. So we take a very positive outlook on the long-term future, and that's the organization we are trying to build, because the organizations are playing a vital role in society.
Yeah. It's easy to become afraid these days with all the with the AI technology, with everything that's going on in the world with climate, and I think the world needs messages of hope, rather than messages of fear. So this is
The best is yet to come, and I think a nice analogy as a final giveaway for an Obeya is the Obeya allows you to stand in the eye of the storm. So literally with the walls around you, where all the stuff that's going on and the information and the planning and the teams and the people. But in the Obeya, you have a sense of connection, a sense of calm with the storm still going on around you. And that's what we're trying to create. And that's I think a gift, a much needed gift to all the people out there. And we hope everyone joins us in our calls.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That was a powerful message. I invite everybody to go to Brother Google and Google Obeya Association, Obeya.Dolf and Bart. I'm looking forward to keep talking about this, because I think it's very important. And I promise you, this is not the last thing we will talk about Obeya. During the year, we will create core events and stuff like that, so we can get the people excited about this. I think it's very useful. Thank you very much again. And I'll see you soon.
See you soon, Neno.
Thank you, Neno.
Bye.